Hey, good evening. It's Patricia Dacre with Dragonfly Lights bringing you products called Dealing with Your Diabetes. For those of you that don't know me, I am a registered nurse, type 1 diabetic, and I work with people who have diabetes to help them kind of figure things out. My personal experience was that my nursing degree really didn't help. I knew the ins and outs of the technical side, but it took a lot more here to kind of get my head straight about how to deal with diabetes and make it not be a burden and feel a little bit lighter. So that's what I do. Like to always come on once a week, and I've been gone for a while. We were on vacation, and it was really fun. Um, had a great time. We went to the islands, and so it was really pretty and beautiful and just nice to kind of be unplugged. But they had Wi-Fi, so we could still kind of get on and off the internet. So today there's a couple things on my mind that thought I would just share real quickly, and it's kind of reviewing what I've talked about in the last couple of weeks. So one is insulin, which is always, front of mind for me because it's required. It's not an optional thing. And the price of it's pretty outrageous. So interesting, when I was in the islands, I rode this, they don't really have a lot of cars and stuff there. So I rode my bike to the local pharmacy just to see what it would cost. And for the one little vial, this size little guy, so it's 10 milliliters of insulin, which is 1,000 units. So 10 milliliters, there's 100 units per mil. 1,000 units, it costs $50. And they kind of thought that was crazy expensive because everything on the island is super expensive. So gas was like $5 an hour, $5 a gallon. Burgers were, $12, $15 just for a regular burger. So it's, things have to be shipped very far to get there. So there's a cost. But I find it odd that insulin, which is $50 on this island in the middle of nowhere, was cheaper than here in the States where it's produced in an abundant supply. Just head scratcher, right? And so also a couple of things in the news, we've been hearing about things going on in Colorado, and President Trump is talking about an executive order, which are all great. I love the fact that it's making news and people are making changes. Great, it's a great step. But the thing that you don't understand, or that they don't really play up, is that it really only, the Colorado deal is only for insurance companies. So insurance has a cap. But if you don't have insurance and you're just going to pay at the pharmacy, that's not impacted yet. Hopefully it will be, but that the regulations put in place are really just about insurance. And so it's kind of that same insurance shell game of copays and deductibles and, tiered pricing and all that stuff. And I think a similar thing with President Trump with a favored nation pricing. So it sounds good, but if he's negotiating deals, they're negotiating for what the government provides. So it's their formularies and their regulations. I would love somebody to prove me wrong. If anybody knows that it applies to what the manufacturers can charge, that would be great. But from what I know about how insurance works, it really seems to be Medicare and Medicaid insurance. So anyway, great strides. I love, any PR is good PR. So if we're talking about insulin prices and we're bringing awareness, that's always a good thing. And we're seeing things move forward. So always good. So the other thing on my mind of late is coaching. I've been doing a lot more coaching. So I always get asked, like, what is it about and why do we do it? So I thought I'd just revisit that real quick. So coaching with diabetes is really about helping you play the diabetes game better. So I'll use the metaphor of a coach, right? So if you're playing baseball, you're playing the game, you're doing your best. Your coach is helping you with strategies, how to play better, some tactics. They're looking from an outside view in and helping with their experience and expertise. And that's exactly what I do. So coaching is more about helping you figure out what works for you. And what barriers and blocks you have. So we all have this resistant thinking, oh, I can't do that, or that's a block, or, other people do that, but I'm not able to. So that kind of thinking really limits what your opportunities are. So in coaching, we try to challenge those. So there's a lot of little tricks and tools that we can do to get you from thinking about things to tapping into other parts of your person, right? So we have a thinking mind, but we have wants and needs and desires and all kind of other things that are creating our choices and, bubbling up emotions. So in coaching, sometimes we talk about that, right? And helping you with what you want to do, or what things you think you can't, or what your stumbling blocks are. And I love to say it's just a bunch of aha moments, because typically what happens is a light bulb goes off. We'll be talking, I'll suggest something, we'll do some tools, and all of a sudden you go, wow, I never thought of it like that. Oh my gosh, I can do that. that's what it is. It's so fun and it's so easy. So it's not therapy. It's not me dictating what you can and can't do or will or won't do. You don't do anything you don't want to do. You don't say anything you don't want to say. But it's looking at what's working for you and what's not. And let's take what's working and make it better. And if it's not working, why? So maybe it's some education, maybe, right? There's sometimes that it's been so long since we were diagnosed, there might be some new stuff that could be helpful. It might be learning how to communicate better with your doctor. It might be understanding grief is one of the big ones, and nobody talks about grief with diabetes, but when you get diabetes, you lose the life you thought you were going to have. And that is a loss. It's a tangible and real and painful loss. And so in coaching, sometimes just really helping people to understand what their emotions mean, where they're coming from, why do they feel the way they do? Because once you have that awareness, then it deflates kind of some of those emotions. So anyway, it's nothing scary. It's really kind of fun. It's really amazing to talk with people and help them shift their perspective. And all of a sudden there's a possibility they hadn't seen before. So really doing some work on group coaching, which I think is really fun, because not only do you get to have your problems talked about, but you hear other people's issues, and that group becomes a support group because they get it. It's other people with diabetes. It's not other people that don't have the same problem. It's people with diabetes, right? So in a group setting, we all get it. We're like, yes, I know what that's like. Or they can offer suggestions, right? So you learn about your problems, you hear about other people's problems, which it helps you to understand, and you might learn something, wow, I hadn't thought of that either. So you almost get, 4 for the price of 1 with group coaching. And then we also have, like a Facebook group we can connect with. So I think one of the most difficult challenges with diabetes is feeling alone, like nobody understands and nobody gets it. So group coaching is a good way to build that foundation and support, and then, learn from other people. So something to really consider. So when we think about coaching, I can do it one-on-one. I can do it on Skype like this, or Zoom, just where we're talking. I can do it via the phone if that's more convenient. If you're local, we can do it in person. And if you're curious a little bit more about what we're doing in group coaching, I'm going to drop a link to a webinar I did not too long ago, where we kind of talk about the ins and outs of coaching and what it looks like. And that webinar, you just register for it, and it grants you access to the replay, so you can kind of see if that's something new. And I'm planning on starting up a class probably the very beginning of August, kind of depending on schedules and people that want to sign up, how that works. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a good thing. So that's probably all I'm going to say. I'll keep watching out for insulin stuff. If you hadn't seen my post that I did on Tuesday, kind of still a day behind, some really fun facts. I love to number crunch, so I got my spreadsheet out and did some number crunching on the price of insulin. It's mind-boggling. If you're paying for insulin full price, and you happen to be some of the few that have a need of more than 100 units a day, that cost is over $1 million a year. That's ridiculous, right? It's crazy. Luckily, there are ways around it, so I share those too on the web, on the post, so check that out. Anyway, thanks so much. Always happy to hear your questions, concerns. If there's something that you want to know or something you're thinking about, please drop me a line, send me a post, send me a message. Any which way works, and I'll be happy to either bring it up on my next slide, write a post about it, or talk to you in person. So check out any of the links below. I also offer a free 30-minute intro call if you just want to talk with me and have some questions answered. So I think that's everything. I'm good to be back. I felt like I've been gone for so long. So y'all take care, and I will see you next week. Be healthy. Bye.